So going to be your third year, so your second year ended early then.
Oh yeah, it ended real early, which was okay.
Right. Do you remember playing, before we started talking, you remember playing, my cousin, she played for Riverside, Sydney Scruggs, kid number 4. She's a sophomore.
Yeah. She be, I be like, between Sydney and Aaliyah, I'm like, listen, I'm not, it's nothing you can do. They real life ballers though. And they come tell me for the game, they be like, hey, Coach, we love you, but you know you got the butt. I be like, listen. I be like, stop talking to me, like only talk to me after the game. They be like, but you know we love you. I'm like, I love y'all too, but y'all ain't about to keep. But yeah, they Riverside stacked.
Yeah, they got the team.
Riverside is like, they on the whole. I feel like they need to win the championship within the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's gonna in this next 2 years. Like stuff go clean.
They should win. No. Or even like King.
Make a run,
or even like I don't want to see King make a run. I want to see King
win actually
because they always have teams. So hopefully, I know I got faith in him. I'm glad he took the job.
Cool. I didn't even know.
Ariana dad.
I didn't know that.
So I'm like, he definitely gonna do something. But I'm like, Riverside should do something too because they stack. Why not?
Right. Yeah,
but I guess they gotta beat each other out.
Right, all that said, they changed the rules and all that. But talking about that, I'm gonna just jump around. How was the rivalry when you was in high school with King and Vincent?
Oh, it was rivalry. That was like real high school stuff.
Did you explain that for me?
It was like, like for me personally, it was funny because at King, my whole AAU team played at King. So like Rachel, Serena, Lene, Asia, all of them, I played in the summer with them for the scholars.
Okay.
So it'd be like we all sister, but on the court it's like, yeah, you on that team today. It's all out of love, but it's just like we want to see our school do this, and just like Riverside, it was like I just knew everybody on Riverside team. Like we all was in the same little circle. Like AAU was like the stars, the scholars, and playground.
Right.
And so we all grew up with each other, knew each other just throughout our whole basketball life, and playing against the King and the Riverside and even like Washington. Yeah. It was just like them games was like the state games, like in our mind all the time. It was like we play them twice out of the year. It's like, all right, well, this is gonna determine our state right here. This is what we gotta do. And it was like in practice, Hines was just like, well, Rachel gonna beat up on you, Serena. I'm like, well, I'm just saying, they gonna beat you up. I'm like, dude, okay, but it was just all out of love. Like them, even today, like them my basketball sisters. And so it's like even to see Rachel now coaching at Marshall, it's like, dang, like came a long way. So it's all love though. Like I got nothing but respect for all of them. Like we just, since I started off in like 4th, 5th grade, it's like that's who I've been on the whole. So but it's just like everybody grow up, go to their different schools, and
y'all doing your thing.
So it's all coming full circle. It's cool though. I like it.
Did you think that y'all would be coaching, or did you see that?
Heck no. Especially me. I just knew that. Once I finished high school, I was not coming back to Milwaukee. Like I did not want to be here, none of that. But things happen, and I went to school in Iowa. I went to Kirkwood, so
that's right.
I won a championship there, and then like the year after that, it was just like I was ready to come home. Like I'm home.
That's what I was gonna ask you. How was that? Milwaukee going all the way to Iowa.
Listen, first off, it was it was so weird. Like it's nothing to do out there. It's like really feel like you gotta have a car to go everywhere. We had to have a car to go to Walmart, the grocery store, like the gas station. Only thing that was by our apartments, because we didn't have dorms, was like Subway. And I'm like, I'm not used to Subway. I'm not doing this. And so, but it's nothing to do. The schools, they like an hour away, hour here, hour there. I'm like, listen, thank God I had a car. So I drove everywhere, but basketball, it just saved me out there though. Like the basketball team was cool. The coach, Coach Mule, he's still there. Okay. Like I'm his little recruit person. He called him and so he really he molded me a little bit. Like Hines really put it in me. Like even when I went to college, college practice was easy. Like I'm used to going to college practice with my hair all done. I used to come out with my hair still done, going to Hines practice. Oh, I'm coming out sweating. I'm about to die. Like, so he really like prepped me for that. But like, you know, Kirkwood, Coach Kim, that's all he was known for, winning championships, national championships.
And you went right along.
And I went right along in the mix. So I was like, dang, like I done got like 4 championships in a row. So I was on Kyle like 10. But my sophomore year, it just like, I don't know, it just took a turn for me. Like I wasn't in basketball no more. Like I still played, but the feeling was different. Was it injuries, or you just think you got too like bored? I got bored with it because I'm like, I don't want a championship, but now like I got big headed. I'm just gonna get in a minute, but it was just like the passion wasn't there no more, and it was just like, okay, so what am I gonna do now? And so, was it like, did you have schools, or you just like all the way just? I had schools looking at me, but it was just like, I don't want to play no more. I remember having a talk with my grandmother. I came home, and I just told her, like, I don't want to play no more. Okay. And she was like, she got so emotional because that's what I'm the firstborn child, and then like it just went like crazy. But I'm like, it gotta be something else. Like it's just, I've been playing since I was in 4th grade, so it's like it's always been basketball through the summer, and everybody's like, well, play another sport. You can't play another sport because basketball is just go in together. So it took her a minute to like realize it, and like my mom now, but then I just came home and like I just started like working little jobs here and there, and then I just went to school at Alverno, and then the coach found out I went there. So he was trying to give me something like, okay, but then I went, then I was just like, I tried to get back into it, but like once I seen the team, like I'm like, I'm out. Like this ain't it. And so I was just like, no, this ain't for me. And then, you know, life getting away, you know, having a kid, all that stuff. And then my cousin, he lives in California, so he's a sports agent. Okay. So then once he got his license and everything, he was trying to get me to go overseas, sending me stuff. So I'm like, okay, let me try this. Then I tore my Achilles. So I'm like, yep, it's a wrap. This is the sign that I need to give up. So then I was just like, under like Coach Wright and like Hines, after talking to them, they was like, well, you want to coach? I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's see what that's like. And so it's different, like being on this side of the court versus like in it. And like coaching, I get in it. Like I love coaching. Like it's the
all my
funniest thing.
Points. That's crazy.
It's the funniest thing.
So they started you off with coaching and shit? You keep on going?
Yeah, like Coach Wright had wanted me to coach, and I was just like, no, I'm just coming to some games just to see. And then I started going to practice, and then he like started putting me places. Yeah. And so then that's when I just started talking to like different girls, like, hey, you should do this or like
got no choice.
And then after that happened, he's like, you want to coach freshmen? I'm like, all right, let's see. They got and you know, so I'm like, we can do that. And then coaching freshmen, it was just like, I was in it, like, you know, it was fun. And then my daughter started growing up, and she like started getting sick, so I stopped for a year. Okay. And then you know, she was just growing bigger, and then she got healthier and everything. So, but he was still the coach there. And then when they had went through that whole thing, him getting fired or he quitting there. However it went, I was just like, I should probably just go and see what it's like, do it. And then like talking to like my mom, and then Shalon and Jay, and then the other few people. It was like, just go ahead. Like, they gonna say yes or no. They ain't gonna tell you no. Like, you in the building and you went there, you won there. And I'm like, all right. So, shoot, I just filled out the application just like everybody else. Went for the interview and got the call that night. I'm like, oh, this is real. Like, y'all want me to coach?
Yeah, you didn't think that you was gonna do it?
No, because it was like other real coaches that had been coaching for a while, like, you know, going for their job. So I'm like, they don't want me with no experience. Right, like I'm too fresh, especially for like the high profile area of Kirkwood. So I'm like, they probably want somebody that's gonna like get her ready and like build off of that. So I didn't think they was gonna take a chance on me. Right. And shoot, they did. And it was just like, you know, it worked out that year. My first year, we did really good. Like, we lost to King twice. And I think we lost to MSL once. And then we made it all the way to Beaver Dam, and then Beaver Dam just that was like the semifinals or something. I don't remember. But yeah, Beaver Dam just they still like number one in the state.
Okay.
Like, Beaver Dam is like the UConn, the LSU. Beaver Dam like us when we was in high school. So, but they just watched us, and I was like, well, we made it to Beaver Dam. Like, I wasn't expecting that. And so, coming off that year, it was like, okay, but I knew I was gonna struggle the next year just because Ariel was gone.
Right, yeah.
And so I had to go like to the whole rebuilding thing. But I'm like, I'll still be all right because I still had some of my players returning. Mm-hmm. And one of my key players, she ended up getting pregnant in the summer. And so when I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And so she, basketball started in November. She didn't tell me until
too late.
Until 2 weeks before she had the baby. Yeah. She didn't look pregnant though, but she used to hide it from me. She wouldn't come see me or nothing. But I wasn't thinking. I'm just thinking she don't want to see me. She's sick of me. And I didn't know until she 2 weeks before. I'm like, I would have brought you a baby shower again. What's going on?
She could have helped you.
But so she just. That kind of messed us up, but she came back her doctor released her a week or two early, and so she came back, and for her to come back and play all the games she played, and the minute she played, I was mad at it, because I wasn't gonna be able to do that. Having a kid, that's just not me. But it worked out. I mean, hey, we lost, we got our butt kicked, and I took my L's, and I ain't complaining. It's just when I come back. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do something. Right. Hopefully this year, if it's a season or next year, I'm gonna shock some people, but it's all good. I ain't tripping. Everybody, it's girls everywhere except Vincent, which is so odd. I gotta build it. It's hard. It's hard getting parents to say, I'm gonna send my kid to Vincent. Yeah. They we like you. Right. You're nice. It's just the school. But the school is. It's in a rebuilding stage. It's not as bad.
And that's why I'm saying everything's
It's really not. I know other teachers at different schools, and they be like, man. Yeah. And I'm we don't do that at Vincent. We got animals in the basement. We be walking goats around the schools, ag schools. So so I'm we be walking goats. They be coming to the class with lizards and stuff. I'm listen, don't bring that up here. But it's not as bad. I guess is what people put out there.
It's way more diverse.
Yeah, so it's cool though. I love Vincent. Yeah. I read it all the time.
How's that feeling? How's that feeling to be a coach from your old school? How's that feeling? I know we kind of talked about it already.
It feels good just because I be bragging a little bit just because that's my school, and it's man, I'm on a wall 3 times, so you can't tell me nothing. About Vincent, so that's even when I teach 10th grade English, and the kids be talking crazy, and they be we going to, I be y'all going back by the music corridor, I know all these hallways, I did this, and so they just be it's cool just to be back there, because Vincent is what made me, and so when the kids and see that oh, you went to Vincent too, you from the city,
they gonna mess with you.
They mess with me, so it's just the kids respect me, I respect them. It just feels. I didn't think I was ever gonna be back at Vincent. I wanted to get. When you're in high school, you're I can't wait to leave. Right, I'm getting away from my mama, these teachers. But now it's just I love it. It's fun. I be this was my locker before years. Right. And they really? I'm no, y'all can have it.
That's crazy. Yeah,
it's fun though to just go in the gym and just be dang, I done accomplished something. And then when they do pep rallies and all these alumni events and stuff, they all, hey, Miss Birts, I be okay, now this is what y'all supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Just giving my input, but I like it. It's cool just. Passing it on, trying to at least, but it's fun. I wouldn't change it. I really would. It's nice.
What's up, Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Coaching, being a head coach, but you coaching Vincent too. That's something. The school you went to. That's what's up. Varsity too. You happen fast and it's going pretty good. So that's what's up.
Man, sometimes I be just dang.
It's a journey.
Even now I'm dang, it's one of my 3rd year coaches. Time done went fast. I'm just oh my God. But
when I saw it, I was Ashley, she just hooped there. That's the coaching job. That's what's up. I never even thought that, but that's what's up.
It's funny because people think the job was gave to me It wasn't. Like, I really had to, like, redo my whole resume. I had to, like, write a coaching philosophy. I'm like, I didn't know I had to do all of this. But I'm like, let me just, do it, get it done. It was just like, I just went in there. I went in there with, like, all my championship rings. So I went in there, I'm like, hey. They was like, are those your rings? I'm like, yeah, these are all my little championship rings. But it was, like, it was pretty cool, though. Like, even some of the teachers that was my teachers there, like, they still in the building. Yeah. So they'd be like, hey, Ashley, Miss Birts, Coach. I'd be like, just call me Ashley. It's okay. Like, they're like, I can't believe this. Like, you're back in the building. I'm like, and you're still here. Like, when are you gonna leave here? Like, you've been here for 30 years. Like, you could go. Yeah. But it's just, it's cool. Like I said before, I wouldn't change it. I rock burgundy gold. I tell everybody, you can't say nothing about none of my sisters that played basketball with, and it's funny because we all still talk. Yeah. Like, we might not talk every day, every week, but like we all still keep in contact. We kick it, we do all of that stuff. Destiny brought us together when she passed away, which is, tough. We talk about the good, funny stuff, but I don't know. It's just like, I just kind of leave that one alone because I still can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? But but when I see her mom and her dad, I still talk to them, and it's just like, oh my God. They be, remember when? I'll be like, yeah, I remember. Try not to cry, but it's cool. And then it's like, James Wright, I still talk to him all the time. Coach Paula, I still talk to her here and there. And then Coach Jenkins, Derek Jenkins, I still talk to him, like, here and there. But Hines, first of all, Hines, he works back at Vincent now. I talk to him even before he was back at Vincent, I talk to him like every week. Mm-hmm. Like, he'd just randomly text me or, just say crazy stuff. And I'd be like, Hines, you know my coach anymore. I don't gotta listen to you. He's like, Ashley, you better. I'm like, leave me alone. But, I call him like my goddad. Like, he saved me out of a lot of little crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. But, like, that can't nobody. And I tell people now, you can't tell me nothing bad about Marcus Hines. Like, he's on a whole nother pedestal. Like, I'll fight for somebody for him. Mm-hmm. And he know it. Like, he done seen some stuff. We done did some stuff to him. We done tore his house up one day. And, hey, that's what champions do. We went back and tore the whole house up and left the next day like we didn't do nothing. Oh. But it was all fun and games. It was his fault, though. He came messing with us. It was his fault. He came messing with us. But, he pushed me to, like, crazy. Like, he made me, like, my senior year, I had tore my ACL, probably, like, regionals.
So you did it twice, so I didn't know that shit.
I had tore my meniscus.
I know you got hurt.
Yeah, I tore my meniscus first, and then my ACL my senior year in high school, and then I tore my Achilles after. And so for the ACL, I think it was like regionals or something. I don't know, but we had like 4 more games to play. Mm-hmm. And that man made me play all 4 games. And I got in trouble with my doctor. He was my doctor before, James Wright had took me to somewhere down UWM to a specialist or something. And he was like, well, we don't got no x-rays, but it's probably torn. And he was like, so, whatever, it's up to you. So I'm like, my mama made the appointment, and then I went to see my actuary. He was like, yeah, it's definitely a torn ACL. You cannot play. I don't care what game, like, you got to sit out. And so, like, me, my mom, James Wright, and Mark and Hines, we all had met. And they was just like, so, what you gonna do? And I'm like, it's my senior year. Like, what y'all think I'm gonna do? And my mom was like, well, I don't care. I'm leaving. I'm out. She's like, that's all y'all. And so, shoot, I went to practice. Oh, yeah. But only thing was, in practices, or walkthroughs, whatever you wanted to call it, I didn't practice. Like, I'd just be shooting around free throws, because I was a terrible free throw shooter. And I was just like, sitting around, chilling. He'd be like, go walk through this. I used to walk through plays, but like, game time, it was like a brace, tied up, another brace tied up, and it was like another brace. And we was just tying it, and here, you take these Tylenols. And it was numb. Like, I didn't feel it. Yeah. And I played them games. Like, he was trying to limit my minutes, but he wasn't really doing a good job. I think he was forgetting sometimes that I had a torn ACL.
Yeah. And that's crazy that you thought. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But y'all didn't end up winning that year.
Yeah, no, we won my senior year. So I won my sophomore year. Sophomore, junior, senior.
Okay, I thought you lost. Okay.
Yeah, so I won sophomore, junior, senior. So shoot, he was putting me in them games. I was doing what I could do. And shoot, we ended up winning. That was the worst game of my career when we played King of State to me. Like, I was just so tired. My knee was hurt.
That, they playing a city school.
Yeah, we was playing two city schools of state. Like, that was the best thing ever. Like, that was the highlight of my career. Worst game of my career, but the highlight of my career. And it was just like, seeing my AAU sisters on the opposite side and gold and on the big main stage, like all these black girls, like like Black Girl Magic, all that. And it was just like, it was just us and nobody thought it was gonna be that, like whatever. But it was like we had like almost like a sold out crowd. Like everybody came to see these two city schools. And
there was some Coopers up there, not just city schools.
Like everybody was like balling, and it was just like they was up by one, then we up by one, and then they up by two, and then we down by, like, it was just going back and forth, and shoot, it was just like, I remember, like, bits and pieces of that game, and it's just like, after the game, and the buzzer went off, and I looked, and I'm like, oh, we won by one. It was just like, I almost fell out. Then Serena came and grabbed me, and we just started, crying, and like, love you, sis, like, I'm like, dude, like, this is crazy. Yeah. And James Wright made us all grab hands and take a bow. I'm like, take a bow. I'm like, why? But we did it, but it was just like, okay, but I remember going back to that locker room and they took that brace off. I started crying. I just, like, my knee, like, I couldn't even walk. I'm like, somebody go get some crutches. Like, it was that bad. Yeah. And I'm like, why? Like, afterwards, I'm like, was this worth playing? Like, I don't think I should have did this. And it was just like, I was like, I shouldn't have did that. But I'm like,
already had two, so I understand the way you think.
Yeah, I'm like, why? But I'm like, dang, we did win, but I'm in pain. It's like, after that, like, once, like, a few coaches found out that I had my ACL, they, like, took scholarships. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I was mad about that. It was like, we won, and whatever, and it was just like, I went back to the doctor like 3 days later.
How bad was that?
He was like, I seen you on TV. I'm like,
ooh, that's
TV. He's like, didn't I tell you not to play? I'm like, I don't remember that. He's like, yeah, I seen you play. He was like, so how's your knee doing? And I see you came in with crutches, because I didn't give you crutches to leave the last time I seen you. I'm like,
yeah, you caught.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. And he took them x-rays again. He was like, yeah, you need to go in for surgery tomorrow. So I had like emergency next day surgery. I mean, it all worked out good. So it's like I had that surgery in like March, and then I had the rehab all the way, and thank God Kirkwood came.
That kind of helped.
He was like, I don't care. He's like, you come here red shirt. Like, I want you in my program. And so, that still worked out for me. And I went there expecting a red shirt, but I got released to play. And I'm like, oh, I could play for real this year? He was like, if the therapist say so to. So I went to therapy. I passed the test, and shoot, I played that year. It was just like, that was the best year of my life, basketball. Like, it was funny because Hines would call me like after game days. He'd be like, oh, so you up there having 15 points and you couldn't have 5 for me. Like, I'm like, leave me alone. I'm like, you made me do stuff that you want. He let me do it. I want up here. You had me in a whole different, he like, yeah, but you up here balling. And I'm like, Hines, I gave you 10 points tonight. I don't know what to tell you. But you giving him 15 and 20. I'm like, hey, his offense run through me. I don't know what to tell you. So, but her freshman year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so me and Rachel was at Benson.
Okay.
And then when Griff had passed away, then she transferred to King.
Okay.
And I don't know, it was just like, me and Hines, he was over coaching with the boys. Mm-hmm. So like me and Hines I used to work out with Hines too, when I was a freshman after practice or before practice. So me and him had like a relationship, like you know what I'm saying? Like he used to help me. And so when Griff had passed away, and they was looking for a coach, and Hines was like, he'll coach, he'll do. Because I'm like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm out. Yeah. And Hans said he'd do it, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, right.
Thank God I did. But I just didn't go to King because everybody always go to King in the Riverside. Mm-hmm. So it's like I just wanted to be the outcast, the outlaw, and just was like, nope. I just at first my mom was so big on you going to Nicolay, because she went to Nicolay. I'm like, don't nobody go there. Like I don't want to go to Nicolay. Like I didn't know that. Like I already felt like I wasn't gonna fit in because you know I'm just not gonna fit in. And she Nicolay. I'm like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. But if you say so, because you're the parent, right? And so I just, you know, Griff had talked to my mama and shoot. First day of school, I was at Vincent. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, she ain't looked back. I'm like, I'm going to Nicolay. Wow. But she was trying to send me to like Riverside. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to leave. Like, why? She was on the same thing. All the other, it's better education and that. I'm like, you act like we ain't from the hood. Like, what you talking about? Like, it's either I'm gonna go to class or not go. Mm-hmm. But shoot, Rachel, she was there too. And then, like I said, she just left. And I thought about leaving, but I was just like, no, I'm gonna just be the odd person that always
do your own thing.
Yeah, it paid off. Yeah, it paid off. So, you know, it worked out good. I don't know.
What do you think made Marcus Hines such like a unique coach? Like, cause he kind of already talked about it.
Cause he didn't care if we was girls. He treated us like boys. Like we used to have.
Can you explain that to me? Cause I like working with my cousin. I like Sydney. Like her, I got like another her friend, because Jasmine. So I'm kind of into the girls. He just whatever boys did. He like y'all can do it too. Like he used to make me. Destiny and Nicole. I don't know. I think it was somebody else. Like we used to have to touch backboard. Like when we go up for layups, you better slap the backboard. Okay. Like we used to be like, man, we can't. He's like, oh, you can't. That's 20 push-ups. Like what? And it was just like the first year. I ain't gonna lie, I quit on him like 10 times. Like I'm like, dude, he think I'm a boy. I ain't doing all of this. Like it's not happening. But he just like he didn't care. He just like stayed on us. He like if I go soft on y'all not gonna win. Then y'all think people gonna give y'all passes and like just other stuff. And it was just like, you know, it just became second nature to us. Like he don't care. Like even when girls would get our little monthly thing, and you know we'd be like, oh I'm sick, oh I'm cramping, that. He's like, okay, well. Still, let's go. We putting in work. We used to be like, but I'm crappy. He used to be like, I don't care. And like, we used to be, like, when I say some of us went to practice sick as a dog, he did not care. It was just like, we regular. And then it was like, practices was like 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. And it was just like, he never let up. Like in one practice, we tell him this all the time. We did 130 suicides in one practice. We didn't touch a ball. We seen it because he was playing with it, but we didn't touch it. And that's only because like he was mad at a game because we had gave up like 20 points like a Hamilton up. And he was so mad. And it was just like, Hines, you forgot. You made us come to morning practice. And then we have practice after school. And it's not like morning practice is a walk around. No, it was a full 2-hour practice. Okay, Like, we tired. Went into it.
But he made us run 130 suicides. I would never forget that. Like, I think that was just, like, real bad. And then we had a game the next day.
Yeah, so that's... Yeah.
And so it was just like, dude, really? And you want us to, like, we was mad at him that we still be talking about that to this day. And so it's like now when he see us or when he coach boys, he be telling the boys, I've been to a few of his practices. He be like, man, I know girls harder than y'all. Like, y'all soft. And I be like, you can't be telling them that. He like, yes, I can. Because they soft, they complain, So I'm like, you know, so it's funny even when like he invited me to his practices and had me talking to his boys. And they be looking at me like, oh girl thing. You know what I'm saying? I be like, hey, don't get it twisted. Hey, I get down with you, like, whatever. But Hines is like, he's like the best coach. And like, I tell him all the time, I wish you would have went to college because, you know, you would have had your whole team come. Mm-hmm. Like, we would have just flopped with him. Yeah, but he's just like the best coach, girls, boys.
He a good person, too.
And he used to pick the whole team. He had a Chrysler 300. Mm-hmm.
He used to pick us up for morning practice starting at 4 o'clock in the morning. And we used to be in the car like this, sitting on each other. Right. Scoot over. We used to be sleeping. He'd be in there playing Lil Boosie Set It Off. And what's the Jock song? Any, Mini, Mighty Mo.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And when I say playing them two songs back to back at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, we used to be in the car like, dude, really? Like, and he used to be.
Yeah, he'd be up
like, yeah, I'm like, when you go to sleep, no, I live for this. Yeah, I love this. I'm like,
real talk.
Sir.
My dad used to do crazy shit like that. We would just ride in the morning and he'd just, scream. I'm like, dog, like, what's up? Like, going to the gym.
Right. And I used to be like, something wrong with you. But like, besides him being our coach, he was like our dad. Like, he used to take us, he went to Green Bay. So he used to take us to alumni week in Green Bay on the weekends. Mm-hmm. Like, we used to do that. We used to always go over to his house. Yeah. Like, all the time. Like, we dang near stay with him sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you know, just going out to eat, like, just doing stuff off the court. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, it was cool. Because it was like, we all had that connection with each other. And it was like, we know we couldn't play and joke with him, but we know when we can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like we had so much respect for him. Yeah, so it was just like, it was cool. Like, that man, he has really, like, I told him, I said, can't nobody tell me nothing bad about you. Like, I don't care what you done did, how people think. No, like, you want somebody to fight with you, know I'm going to fight. Like, I'll be about it. And he be like, you just can't fight everybody. Yes, I can, Hines. Like, yes, I can. But he's an all-around good guy. Like, he is. Like, I be telling him, like, you should go back to coach. He be like, I've been done killing one of these kids. They off the chain. And I'll be like, you want to come coach with me? Hell no. I used to be like, why not? No. Y'all drove me bald head. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You did have hair when you first started.
He put in a lot of work though. He deserved it though.
A lot. So I'm like, when WIA, they gonna induct you. They better induct you to somebody Hall of Fame. Because you won a championship on the girls and the boys. Yeah. So it's just like, he just.
But with the girl, that's on like 3 states. He just moved over and then he just won 3
states. Ain't that
like,
crazy?
Come on, like,
ain't never coached girls a day in his life and come win championships like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was different. Like, that was.
Yeah,
like how we did beat Joe before. Like, that was
like,
that's a dynamic like that. He built something right
He definitely built it because, shoot, like, it's just crazy. Like, he just, and it's funny because we talk about it too. He be like, y'all wasn't even like the top players in the state. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was never, and I admit it to this day, and people be thinking I'm crazy, I was never the player that's gonna go out and get 20. I'm never MVP. Like, I'm never this type of player. I know my role. I ain't doing that no more. I done passed out a few times. Blood pressure sky high.
So you found have you found a different way to go about your coaching then? Or you still figuring it out?
I'm figuring it out. I say it all the time, like, I ain't gonna coach, I ain't gonna yell, I ain't gonna scream. When they jump the ball, I be, hey, and I just be like, and then after the game, Shalon and Jay, they be like, I thought you weren't gonna yell today. And I be like, alright, you're right. But like, sometimes when I do get high, they be like, Ashley, sit down. Like, you're not going to the hospital. Like, in the middle of the game, they be like, Ashley, sit down and drink some water. Like, relax for 2 minutes. And I'd be like, alright, let me sit down. Because y'all right, because I don't want to end up in the hospital again. Like, I had that experience, and it was just like, not good. But they'd be like, hey, sit down. And I'd be like, alright, dang. Like, you know, they be like, it's okay. Like, just calm down. I'd be like, alright, y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all my sisters for a reason. So they look out for me a lot because they know I will get into it. But shoot, Shalon, like, she'll go too. Like, her little voice will get up there, and I ain't gonna lie, she's the reason why we done got so many technical fouls and I got kicked out of the game and everything.
Oh, it is.
So it's her fault, actually. It's not my fault. And then Jay, she a little more laid back, but don't try her. Cause like, if you try her, you like challenge her on some basketball IQ stuff, oh, she'll go. So it's like, it's a mixture of all of us, but it match, and like, we know each other so well, so we've been around each other for like 10 plus years, so it works out. But they crazy. People think I'm crazy. Nah, them two crazy. I know y'all better watch them.
Do you ever catch yourself when you coach and be like, damn, I'm doing too much. Like, I'm doing what market users are behind. Like, why am I doing like you ever catch yourself doing that?
Hines used to have this thing where I get in trouble, but I will. Like he'd be coaching, and like it was either me or Shalon. I think he did it to Jade and Terry. I think he did it to everybody, but I think I got it the most. He'd be trying to sub somebody in, and he'd be looking down the bench, and like he'd be like, "Go get her!" And I'm like, "Oh snap!" Like you know what I'm saying? And like he just, I'm like, "Dang!" You look back like, "Sir, like yeah." I did that a few times to a few of my girls, and I'd be like, "I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to." But it'd be like when I be needing somebody to go right away, because it's like when that person get their third or fourth foul, you like, "Oh, that's a player. She gotta come." You know what I'm saying? So it's like I be looking, but I don't be knowing who I'm looking for until I actually see their face. And like my girls, when I get to looking, they be like, "She ain't looking for me," and I be like, "I am looking for you. Cross your legs, like go get her." So I do that. I have snatched a few of my girls up, and I be like, "I'm sorry, y'all. It's all out of love." And they be like, "Yeah," they be like, "Dang, like you be turned up." I be like, "I do. I'm sorry. Like, it's okay." But other than that, I think that's the only like bad thing that I know off the end that I do that he do. But you know, it's okay. They forgive me.
Who do you think like was the toughest players that you played against? That you played against a lot.
Okay, so it'd be like I can go. Let me see. Let's Washington. So it was probably like Deidre, Big Dookie, Jessica Bennett, Starkeys. Like I ain't gonna lie, I used to hate to play against them. But I mean, I did. But I used to hate to play against them. And then like. Who else from Washington? They're the only three that stand out. Oh wait, I can't think of her name. Jerry? I think her name is Jerry. She went to Washington too. She was hands down like cold. I used to hate playing against her. And then at like Riverside used to be like Mercedes, Porsche. I think it was they had a guard, her name was Ashley, I think. They had a few more, Brittany Peavy, and it was like a few more other girls at Riverside. I used to be like, "Oh my God, we about to go to Riverside." And then King, and then it's like, "Oh my God, you got Stephanie over there." And then you had, Rachel, when she went over there, Serena. I used to be like, "Oh my God, like we never get a break."
But y'all was like, nah, because you played with Nicole Griffin too, right?
Yeah, I played with Nicole, was at Vincent with me.
Yeah, like.
So, I mean, in practice, we used to beat up on each other. That's because mine used to make us, but it used to be like, that came, after so many practices with each other, it became a breeze. So it'd be like, we'll go hard against each other, but we'd be like, trying to keep it cool, because we're on the same team, like you my sister, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to kill each other. And so, like, practices, they became easier. And then, like, shoot, our subs, like, our 6th and 7th, and people on the bench, they started beating up the starting 5, starting 6 people. Like, I'm like, hey, now, y'all ain't gonna be beating me up like this. Don't y'all know we play King tomorrow? Y'all gonna need me. But shoot, they used to beat us up because they know when we go to King, when we go to Riverside, they gonna beat us up. But like, them other schools, I used to sometimes hate playing against them schools. Like, I don't want to go to King today. I don't want to go to Riverside. Like, I don't want to play Washington. I just, but it helped. But I mean, it all worked out. It worked out. So.
Do you got any regrets about your do you have any regrets about your basketball career? Like about your I know you kind of fell out. You said you kind of fell out of love with it. You got any regrets about it?
I think I could have just went to another school and played the last 2 years. Just got it done with. Just because I was already in it, and that was really my passion, my first love. So I feel like I should have just finished out and played and just went from there. But I mean, other than that, no, because it's I have my kid after that. So it's that's the next big, she done turned me, all the way around. Yeah, so, I mean, but now it's now you could have went and played 2 more years, actually. It's okay, but, I mean, it's if I wouldn't did that, where would I be at now? Would I even be a coach, or would I be here in Milwaukee, or would I even have my kid? So it's just so many different things, but it worked out. I'm still here, and I still be playing sometimes. I can't go as long, these little knees and this ankle be needing the extra stretching, but I tell the kids now, don't make me stretch out and get worn, because I will get on you. Like,
you probably had to in first year, right?
Yeah, I had to. Even now in practices last year, I'd be like, I'm bringing out my shorts and my shoes today, like, because y'all think I'm playing.
Yeah.
Like, don't let this little hair wrap fool you. Like, I would come and dog y'all, and that's what we used to do. We used to dog them. Like, Jade I didn't care. Jade, Shalon. We used to, like, Tanika, she used to come play with us in practice. Like, I used to call everybody like, hey, come back and play with us, and They be like, so what you want us to do? Take it easy on them? No, kill them.
Yeah.
Run at them. Run their necks. Like, it's like, okay. And we used to run at them, but it's all out of love. They're getting great.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's gonna make them better.
Yeah. So, different people.
Yeah, that's what's up. What do you think? What do you think the game is now? Like, that's good about the game now that that's going on with the girls basketball thing in the city.
I think it's all the same though. It's just like, the only thing is like, girls just go to King or they just go to Riverside. And like back in the day, it's not as spread out, but like even when, like Vincent, we have like 2 players that's okay. Hamilton got like 5 girls that can play, and it's like, Washington got a whole squad, and everybody got different players, but it's just, the games are not as crowded as they used to be.
Yeah.
Like, when we used to go to games, like, we were in high school, girls' games used to be crazy. And, like, now it's not, as crazy. It's not as crowded, which, I guess it's growing. Yeah. But, it's different a little bit, but it's just different to me just being on the coaching side as a head coach. Right. So it's like, I see so many different things. And it's just like, dang, like, it's changing, but it's not changing. And it's like, how can you change? Like, what else can I do to put not only Vincent girls out there, but to, like, just put girls basketball out there, period. Yeah. And so, I just think, like, I just need one city school to, like, bring back a state championship. Like, an MPS school, like, when Gio had did it. Like, that was great. Like, thank God somebody brought back the championship. But it's like, come on, like MPS, like we have a lot of good kids that play at, King, Washington, Riverside, Vincent, other stuff. But it's like, we just need to bring back a gold ball in the city. Like, just regardless of what school. And it's like, of course I would want it to be Vincent. But I root for everybody. Like, as long as it's a school, like an MPS school, like I said, if y'all go upstate, I want y'all to bring back a gold ball. Don't bring back nothing less. It's okay to bring back a silver ball, not really, but bring back a gold ball. And just to put on for yourself, and then that's something to be proud about. That's something to jack on for the rest of your life, because I know I still jack on all 3 of my gold balls. Like, I won championship 3 times in a row. Like, you can't take that back. So it's just like, it's something to be proud of. And so it's like, when anybody goes upstate from the city, it's like, all right, I'm watching the game, or we going up there. And so I just want that to happen, like, for the city, So even like for the boys, I go to boys games too. Like me, Shalon, and Jade, we be at all type of boys games. They be like, who you out here watching? The team. Nobody. We just rooting for city schools. Like, that's just that's just us. So just somebody bring back the gold ball, please. That's it. Like, come on. It's been a long time, but it's all good. Somebody can do it.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, like, can you tell me something about, like, the pride? You kind of did the whole interview, but with the pride from just playing from Vincent and playing with that dynasty, like.
It's just, I don't know. It's just.
The pride that
nobody could, nobody could take nothing away from. We feel like we already got beat up enough. Like, Hines used to, like, dog us in practice, and, like, he's just go at us. So it's like, ain't nobody, we always said this, ain't nobody coming to Vincent winning nothing. Yeah. No, that ain't gonna happen. If you win at Vincent, you're gonna go out. Somebody gonna be black eye, bloody, hurt. Not purposely, but just cause we some dogs, we're gonna protect our house. And so it was just like, we had that pride, like, you can't just come in here and think you about to kill us like that. Like, that's not gonna happen ever. And so, like, Hines didn't even give us that. Like, it was just something that we had in our own, like, heart and our chest. Like,
Ain't nobody coming in our school about to kill us.
Yeah.
You not about to run at us. Like I said, if you gonna run at us, we're gonna give y'all something to remember us, like whatever. But I mean, just like probably like now, we wear Vincent gear. I wear Vincent gear all the time. Shalon wear Vincent gear. You know, Hines still be wearing Vincent gear. Like he got shirts from like 10 years ago. I'm like, you still got that? Like he like, hey, this is my championship shirt right here. But I mean, it's just something like we just all grew together, and I wouldn't give it up for nothing. Like I believe Burgundy is gold. Like that's just me. Like people like, you don't want to go to another school? Nope, not yet. Like I'm not there yet to go to another school and coach or teach. Like I'm just not there yet in my life. Like I like being at Vincent. Like I know the ins and the outs. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. And it's just like I'm like a Vincent kid, like real life. Like I was going through my old stuff that my mom had in her attic. You know, your mama had stuff from when you was a baby. And I was going through it, I'm like, dang, like all this Vincent, Birdie, and gold. And it was just like, we used to make stuff. My grandma used to make t-shirts. She done knitted like scarves and hats. And like, it got crazy. And like even being a coach there, it's like, we go back and I sell like alumni stuff like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. And it'd be like, you know, they played in a little short. So it's like, well, I'm keeping them shorts. Like, I got like 5 pairs of shorts that they wore, like, first uniform. So it's cool, but I don't know. It's just like, I love Vincent. Like, just as much as people say bad stuff, I'm gonna tell you all the good stuff going on, too. But that's just me. Whatever I get involved in, I'm like, all in. Like, I'm not no trader. I guess that's what I didn't go to. Like, King Riverside. I'm a die hard. I'm gonna stay at the V, and you know that's it. But it made me who I am now, and I don't want to change it.
I got a few more questions, man. Like, so what made you fall in love with basketball then?
I was a cheerleader.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I was a cheerleader in like the 4th grade, and it's funny because I was not tall. I was like a little short, chubby kid. And I don't know, and then like 5th grade, I just had like a growth spurt. And so I had met with Curtis Cotton. That was my first coach at Carlton Elementary School. And he had seen me. He was like, you play basketball? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, you do now. Come to practice tomorrow. I said, I'm going to cheerleading practice. He said, yeah, okay. And I'm like, I wasn't thinking. I was at cheerleading practice, and he came and got me out of cheerleading practice. And he was like, just come on, just do like a layup or like a free throw or something like that. And I'm like, okay. And I did it, and I swear to you, no lie. Like, it just came natural. Like, I just laid it up off the right leg, and I had like the flick of the wrist on the free throw. He was like, and you don't want to play basketball? Like, and ever since then, like, I was stuck. Like, but my mama found out, because my mama played in high school. She played at Nicolay, and then my dad is Silas Mills. He played at Washington.
I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah. We can talk about that. But so when I finally did that, like my mama was like on cloud 10. She was like, good, 'cause that cheerleading stuff wasn't working, So
no, she just wants you to hoop. That's
right. And so when my grandma found out, like everybody was just like geek. And then we started having them little Saturday games at like Custard. And ever since then, I just been in love with it. I never put one down, like ever. My grandma done spent so much money. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have played as much. But she spent money, and like every trip that I went on, she always went. I never went like by myself or nothing like that. So she, ever since then, I'm like, yep, this gotta pay off. And that's how I fell in love with it. It was just fun. It kept me out of trouble because. I used to be bad sometimes. It's at this point.
That's what's up. But do you got like any words like girls coming up now? Like even some of your players, just like any girls around the city, like
it can basketball. It'll pay off. Like it might not seem like it now because it's like so much work. You tired. You in school. You know you got other stuff going on. You want to go kick it. You want to go to this. You want to go to Summerfest, wherever, but it's like, in the long run, it'll pay off because it's going to pay for your school in the future. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just like, you just got to keep going. You got to play. I say, play against boys sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes dog 'em. Like, it's been a few boys that I done dog. Like, 'cause they talk crazy. And I'm like, I'm gonna talk crazy to you back, but just dog them. And just, you know, you got at least gotta dribble a ball, or lay down in the bed and just shoot the ball up, or you know what I'm saying? Just have a ball by you if you really want to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine though. Do something else, but let me know that you don't want to do it, so I won't put so much into you, and you only give me like 50%. But like just play, have fun, because once you get to college, it don't be fun no more. The fun it's a business in college. If that stuff go out the window, you on the whole schedule, but it's built for the people who want it. If you want to do it, it's gonna work out for you. Like, but go hard now in practices or in training or wherever. Go hard now, so when you do go to college, it's easier. And that's why I loved it so much, because I went hard in high school. I went hard in middle school. Like, I went hard. Practice, I didn't miss a practice, like nothing like that. So when I got to college, it was easier. You know what I'm saying? I still had to put in work, but it wasn't as much work. And so it was just like, I mean, if you want to do it, just do it. Put your mind to it. Like, if you want to be a rapper, you gonna practice. You gonna write your rhymes, right? If you want to be anything, you gonna make the time to do it. Yeah. So I mean, we all had moments where we like, I ain't playing today. I don't want to do this, and that's fine, because we human. You gonna do that. That's expected of us. But you like, all right, well, at least let it go for 20 minutes. Like, make time. People make time for what they want. And if you want to do it, you're gonna make time for it. So it's just like, you know, sometimes I wake up and I be like, whew, this little 6-year-old of mine, I ain't dealing with her today. But I have to. Like, that's my priority. And at a time, basketball was my priority. I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up at 5. I didn't want to. I hated it, but let me just go ahead and knock it out the way. So if you want to do it, do it. And there's going to people be there to support you, and it's going to be some haters. So, I mean, make your haters your number one supporters, because as long as they hating, they still talking about you, your name still getting out there. So just keep making your name, make a name for yourself like me. I made a name for myself, and people will tell you, I was the dog. I'm the one that's gonna talk crazy, and I'm the bully. And I'm fine with that. I love being called a bully. I love being an underdog. Like, that's just me. I wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a problem with doing it, but it saved me in a lot of ways. And it made me who I am today. Like, if I didn't play basketball, I really don't know what I'd be doing, to be honest with you. I really don't know. Like, I really don't know. And I say that, like, laughing and joking, but I'm like, where I'd be like,
they teach you so much before.
And it prepared me, so it's like, whoo, I just thank God that I found a way out. You know, I made a way, so it worked out. So if you want to do it, don't half-step it. I hate when people half-step the game. Don't half-step it. Just do it.
Do it.
It's cool. It's cool.
So I hope we all hear that, and that's real talk right there. And I appreciate you for coming. I just want to say congratulations again on like everything you did. Being a head coach at your old school, head coach period. That's
thank you.
That's the thing. I was happy to see that when I saw it. Like, oh yeah, that's what's up. Like always seeing you, like even watching you, like when I was younger. Like even looks like memories, just like like seeing you silent, maybe you catch a few our games of Babe Ruth or something random, like like just knowing you through the basketball. That's what's up, man. It's nice getting to talk to you. Thank you.
Tell your crazy daddy I said hey, because he used to come, I don't even know how he used to come to practices, but he used to come and cuss us out, and I used to be like,
man, it's cool, man.
Who invited Mark Mitchell? Like, who told him to come? But him and I mean, you know, just in that brotherhood, that community, it's be like, then when I see him out, he be like, oh, they're gonna ask the Birts crazy ass. I be like, you clouded, but he's a good guy. Like, he was a good coach and like person who I looked to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to go to the games and I used to be like, let me watch out Mark coach. Let me see what he doing. Then to see you like be his assistant coach, it's like, I don't think this good, but I'm gonna watch it because they both crazy. So like, it all works out. I guess it's a good thing too, though. So I'm glad to see that. So thank you. You need anything, let me know.
Yeah, definitely.
Either from me or any like my coaching staff, a player, you can come in.
Oh yeah, I got
do all of that. Yeah, like just
this,
reach out, let me know. We can set some stuff up, and hey, we can go from there.
So
I got you. Hey, I'm all for supporting Black people. Like,
we
gonna do this. We gotta help each other out. So I got you.
Appreciate you.
No problem.
Appreciate you again for coming. Hopefully you guys like this interview, man. Ashley Birts, head coach at Vincent High School, 3-time state champion. So hopefully you guys like this video and keep watching. Comment below. Thanks for watching.
I guess.